So the Veteran Sherman S is telling us that we were completely wrong about what we wanted on an electric unicycle. If you want to know everything about this, stay tuned after the intro.
That's what I was talking about.
Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love ECs, PVs and everything that have a E of electricity, this is the place for you. And today we are going to talk about the Veteran Sherman S and why this wheel is showing to us that we've been, in a certain way, very wrong of what we want on an electric unicycle. And you may think this guy is completely crazy, but it will make a lot of sense if you stay until the end of the video. And first of all, let's go back in time and talk about the evolution of these electric unicycles in the last 2 or 3 years. Not a long time ago, we had wheels of 84 volts, and yes, we were riding on the limits of that wheel, so we always wanted more and more speed, and speed was related with safety because we were riding on the limit, so we had more risk to basically have a cutoff on our wheels. Is it possible that the Veteran Sherman S will be successful in 2022 when you have wheels of 134 volts? So people wanted more safety on their wheels? Yes and no, but let me explain you a little bit better. So what the Sherman S have that was basically missing in other wheels, or maybe other wheels also have? And is it the modular concept? Not really, because you have other wheels that have that modular concept, and I don't see so many interest on the, for example, Big God EX30 than you see on the Veteran Sherman S. Is it because of the build construction? And yes, it is in a certain way, but maybe it's not just that. Some of us will say yes, it's one of the best suspension, and I believe it can be, but for other of us, we'll say that the Kingsong S22 is the best suspension in the world. Is it because of the easy repairs that you get on the Veteran Sherman S? Maybe not, because if you see the review of the unboxing and disassembling of Wrong Way, is saying that is definitely one of the most difficult ones.
I'm just gonna tell you that tire changes on the thing, not gonna be easy, because you have these pins that go into here, into the motherboard area, and then you have to line like everything perfectly to, you know, put the wires in here as well, and then on the other side, and then just to align everything right. It's a bit like origami. Definitely not the easiest thing to work on, at least for a tire change anyways.
And for me, for example, the Emotion V12 is so easy to disassemble. I don't know why people complain so much about all these screws, because it's very easy to reach there. Is it because of the roll cage and how easy it is to grab and lift it up this wheel? Maybe not, because this wheel is quite heavy, more than 40 kilos, and now the bars are in plastic and they are not covering all the wheel around. So why people is so interested on this wheel? And definitely is not for the speed, because it's also not the fastest wheel, it's not the wheel with more acceleration, but people want to hear about the Veteran Sherman S. How it's possible that a wheel that is from the past in a certain way brings so much interest from all of us, including me. So people are willing to come back to electric unicycles of 100 volts, like for example the Big God MSP, the Sherman Max and other wheels. Why is that? Because majority of us, we were happy with 100 volts. We were happy with the speeds that we could take from those wheels, and we felt safe with 100 volts. Not the same that was happening with the wheels of 84 volts. We wanted more because we was reaching the top end of that specific wheel, making us unsafe. So we are going basically in a direction that the 134 volts, this seems super interesting on the market, but now people is complaining that we need more range. But if you go to 134 volts, you will not have more range. You agree? So that's a problem. And this move from Sherman to drop from this crazy 134 volts or the 126 volts of the Kingsong, continuing to invest their time developing a wheel over a platform of 100 volts that they knew how to make a good wheel like it happened with the Sherman allows them to have partnerships with, for example, this brand of suspensions for motorbike, making supposedly one of the best suspensions on the market. At least Wrong Way now is not so happy about it, but we'll have to see a little bit more later. So in the end of the day, we don't care about what it brings to the company, we don't care about what it brings to the distributor, we want to know what it brings to us as a consumer. So it's bringing to us a wheel that is basically a Sherman, the good OG Sherman that we had on the market a few years ago that was very successful with things that are similar, like for example the easy swappable lights. They even managed to do a wheel that is even more torquey than the Veteran Sherman Max, so definitely a plus. And also, besides the Sherman, they also brought from the Abrams the good things, like for example how nimble it is as a heavy wheel, because we can't forget that it's a wheel above 40 kilos, but it seems to be very nimble, something that I really like. And another thing they are bringing is, once again, 100 volts with 3600 watt hours, something that I said that it was more than enough for me. And I really don't care about the Bigod Master Pro with 4800 watts, with that amazing battery. Is going to be drain quite quickly because you are going to have 134 volts. So when you go to the Veteran Sherman S, I think you are going to get a very similar range with 3600 watts because you have a platform of 100 volts, more torquey than the Max. And I have already tested the Max, and definitely more than enough for majority of us. And if you think about prices, yes, it's very expensive, but not so far from what we was paying for a wheel like the Commander, that is basically plastic and had temperature problems. Another thing that you may miss from the Veteran Sherman, the old generation or even the Max, is that it doesn't have all that cage. But I have already said, even when I was reviewing the Abrams, I don't think that you need all that cage to protect your wheel, because on the bottom you have your tires, so you don't need in there. But now these handles are in plastic. Why is that? And it's definitely also to reduce weight, and if that breaks, it doesn't pass the energy to your wheel. And when you have all that cage on the Sherman, if you have a massive accident, the cage will bend and it will be very difficult for you to disassemble. So don't talk about the amount of energy that goes in, and it can damage, for example, some of your battery cells. So something that I think that Veteran have thought about it is to make some parts of the wheel in plastic to just reduce the amount of impact that the wheel will suffer in case that you have an accident. Besides all of this, Veteran is basically doing something that we really want as a community, but not a lot of you reviewers are really saying, is one of the companies that is not rushing anything to drop a wheel to the market. The same happens with Emotion, with their Emotion V13. They are not rushing to put it out, they are testing it out by themselves. I have already said that I don't think that is the right way to do it, but is the way they are doing at the moment. And if I come back to the thing that I'm more excited about, is about that specific suspension. Yes, you have a small travel, but if you think about it, it's slightly bigger than the amazing suspension that you get on the Bigod Master. Yes, I know, I simply hate it. And why you want a suspension that is quite quick is because if you use it in the city, you don't want that it takes time to readjust to go to that specific level. So it means that the wheel will be even more stable in high speeds. So in other words, people are searching for what we had good in the past that was working. That's what people want, a wheel that works in a technology that people can trust. And another thing that we need to think is, for them to deliver a wheel that is more stable, that can go faster, we need to pay more money, we need to have a wheel that is more and more heavy. It doesn't make any sense. And for that we are doing a new episode where I'm going to tell you why Electric Unicycles needs to look for a car that is coming out really soon from a brand, a French brand. We'll talk about that. If you want to know a little bit more, definitely check that one. And if you are curious to know why some distributors are not investing in these latest wheels, definitely check one of the other videos that I put here for you guys. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And I hope to see you in the next one.